What is going on, everybody? It's Franz, and we're here for Unscripted episode number 104 for your Royal Rumble Sunday, January 26, 2020. We are officially here for WrestleMania season, or as everyone else knows, sign pointing season, because everybody who talks about WrestleMania from here on out is going to be pointing up to that pirate logo. So, if you really like to see half of your Monday Night Raw or SmackDown on Fox being taken up by people pointing to the WrestleMania sign, you're in the perfect season for that, because it is starting this Monday. We'll go over what's happening on this Monday as well too, because WWE booked a match that I know nobody wants to see, and we'll talk about that later. But as we do every single week, Raw, NXT, AEW, SmackDown in review, as we go over what I take away from each and every episode, the three big things. And we go from there. The final hype for the Royal Rumble is to kick off this episode of Monday Night Raw, as we had Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton in a singles match, which was an excellent match until the OC got involved. Why did the OC get involved? Because the OC can. Because Randy Orton is having a mini feud with AJ Styles. I don't know if they're going to lead that up to WrestleMania. Are we really going to keep this feud between Randy Orton and AJ Styles going until Mania without a match? I don't buy that they're going to do that, because WWE can't hold their bullets in their guns and shoot when it's right. Other than that, the Royal Rumble, like this year's Royal Rumble for the women for sure, has been like a major afterthought. As I talked about on the SmackDown review yesterday, you have 7 women as of Friday in the women's Royal Rumble. The men's is practically complete, even though by the numbers video they did on Friday, they said 3 brands, 2 Rumble matches. So how is NXT being included into that? First off, Wyatt Tucker and Otis in this, they should be taken out of the Royal Rumble. R-Truth has no business being in the Royal Rumble, since he's doing this whole thing with the 24/7 championship. There should be at least 5 to 10 spots for the Royal Rumble for NXT. But there's not. Of course the women's going to have NXT in it, because they don't have enough on the main roster to have a Royal Rumble match. However, this Monday Raw, it's like, this is the go-home show, and something that you usually see when the go-home shows are over for Raw and SmackDown is you would see everybody in the back come out, and we'll have a big, huge PS6 brawl to say, "Oh, see you this Sunday for the Royal Rumble. This is a preview to that." It's like, we didn't get that this year. I know we did get something like that with the women on SmackDown, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, there wasn't really much of a hype for us. I'm certainly not more hyped for the Royal Rumble coming out of this episode of Monday Night Raw. You had that promo in the beginning with Seth Rollins. You had the 8-man brawl, which we're going to talk about that, I believe, later too, between the Messiah, between Seth Rollins and his followers, and of course Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and the Viking Raiders. Speaking of the Viking Raiders, they are no longer your WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, because they lost the titles. Who would you think, if you don't watch Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and you just keep up with what people tell you on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, you read the results. If you saw that they were the Raw Tag Team Champions out of that group of Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and the AOP, who do you think would be the new Tag Team Champions? Who do you think would get that Tag Team title opportunity? Would it be the Authors of Pain, the tag team of that group? Or would it be Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy for the hell of it? If you said AOP, you're wrong. It is Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. Why? Because WWE just loves disrespecting tag teams. Now, AEW crowned new tag team champions as well on Tuesday night, which was of course taped for Wednesday. And people were sitting there as like, oh, what's with the double standard when WWE does together a tag team and they win the tag team titles? Everyone complains, but when AEW does it, no one says a damn thing. First and foremost, dumbasses, Hangman Page and Kenny Omega have been teaming for at least 2 months, have been winning matches over and over, and have actually built up time as a tag team. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, I don't care what they've done on house shows, have tagged once on TV, and that was on Monday. There was a big fucking difference. To anybody who's like, oh, it's the same thing, it's just two different companies, you're an idiot. You're an absolute fucking idiot. Totally different. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, according to some people, have been teaming since New Japan, since Hangman and them were in the Bullet Club. So for anyone to say that this is the same thing as Hangman Page and Kenny Omega winning the tag team titles on Wednesday, Tuesday night, it's not. It's not even close. This was just WWE doing something, just giving the tag team titles to Seth Rollins because they have to have this guy be in the title picture. This guy has to have a title around his waist, which, no, he does not. If they wanted to do this group right, Seth is the guy in the top. Buddy Murphy is going after the United States Championship, and the tag team championships go to the AOP. And if they want to eventually, Seth could eventually win the WWE Championship, so the group has all three titles. But they didn't do that. So I don't get still why they wanted to go with this. It makes no sense. This is in less than a year. In less than a year, Seth Rollins has held the Raw Tag Team titles with both Braun Strowman and Buddy Murphy in two title defense, two title reigns that are undeserved and unneeded. The only reason they did the one with Braun Strowman is so they could set up the match between them at Clash of Champions and get them to where they would lose the titles before their match at Clash of Champions, and then go on to have a match where Braun Strowman ends up losing the world title. So, Seth Rollins again, and WWE just showing no respect to tag team wrestling. And the other big thing, really, even though it's not a real big thing, because we're not going to talk much about it, is that abysmal main event. Which, mind you, is probably going to see something brought from that into next week's main event of Monday Night Raw. How could you have a ladder match? Open this show after the first open that promo. How could you have a ladder match between Rey Mysterio and Andrade not be your main event? How could you have the tag team titles on the line not be your main event, but instead, Bobby Lashley and Lana versus Rusev and Liv Morgan? It's like Vince McMahon just sits back in his easy chair or his lazy chair and just like, we'll wing it. That main event was abysmal. That main event was boring. And I was like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Who cares? Liv Morgan and them lost. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I can't stand this shit. Vince McMahon continues to think this shit is entertaining, and it's not. Monday Night Raw, again, one of the worst shows on TV. And it's getting a run for its money with WWE's other show on network TV, or on cable on network TV, with SmackDown, and we'll talk about that later. AEW. From the Jericho Rock and Rager Wrestling Rager from C. I've seen people on Twitter, on other social medias, posting videos of like John Moxley singing karaoke, Marco Stunt singing with Chris Jericho. These guys just look like they went out there and had a fucking blast. Someone mentioned this, that for the original cruise, Chris Jericho went to Triple H. He didn't go to Vince McMahon. I don't know why anyone thinks Vince McMahon. He went to Triple H and offered Triple H the ability to have his NXT crew go on the cruise with Jericho. Triple H turned him down. So the Elite, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and New Japan were, I believe it was New Japan too, were aboard that first cruise, in which apparently was a major success enough that he went for a second round this year, bringing a new wrestling company with him, along with wrestlers from that wrestling company, and producing an episode of their Wednesday night TV show on that strip. That was honestly, I think, one of the best looking sets I've seen. Yes, the ring was smaller. Yes, there was pool shenanigans with MJF going into the pool. Yes, the crowd got stupid in the main event when another boat, which I guess was a Disney cruise line, came through and people were chanting. Instead of paying attention to the main event, which was Moxley and Pac to see who's going to face Jericho at Revolution, people would rather chant, "Your boat sucks, our boat's better," to those in another boat. Like, give me a fucking break. Pay attention to the match. Another cool thing that was happening on this show, because the fact that it was Jericho's cruise and he was in a match, when he makes his entrance, this was fucking awesome. Fans, the entire boat was singing To Judas, which I thought was pretty awesome. And of course, after the music stopped, they continued to sing it a little bit, which was just was awesome. And then, of course, the Thank You, Chris chants. It has been, he did announce on the cruise that they are going to be here next year for the Rock and Rager at Sea. It will be in February instead of January. So if they continue with this, the way they do stuff, February will probably have the pay-per-view for AEW again next year. However, Bash at the Beach will be the week before the cruise, which of course will be at the end of January, which is fine. So I think Bash at the Beach is going to probably be a late January event coming for the next few years. By the way, thank you to everybody who checked out Bash at the Beach Part 1, Bash at the Beach Part 2. I know the only reason those videos got as many views as they have is because of the hashtag Bash at the Beach in the title card. But thank you to everyone who checked that out. And thank you to the new subs on this channel. Speaking of the tag team titles that I talked about earlier, yes, Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega beats the SCU and take the tag team titles. Now, what's going on is, yes, Hangman Page is turning heel eventually. They're not going to rush it. They're not going to have Hangman Page just turn heel for the hell of it. They're going to build into this. Hangman Page, at the end of this match, he tags in, and Kenny Omega's off to the side down. Hangman Page pretty much looked like he beat the SCU by himself. That's how it looked to me, is that they were building this. It was like, Hangman Page beat these guys by himself. Kenny Omega just was there along for the ride. Now, the Bucks come out. Page is telling them to go cheer, go celebrate with Kenny Omega. He bails. He goes and gets into the crowd, gets some beers, gets crowd surfs with them. Now, later on in the show, right before the main event, Tony Schiavone is interviewing these guys about the tag team titles. He lets Kenny Omega say his piece about the tag team titles, and then he asks Hangman Page. Hangman Page says 2 words. Oh, he said, I said I was gonna kick their ass. I kicked their ass. And he goes to talk some more, but Tony Schiavone takes the mic away and then goes talks to to Kenny Omega again, which you could tell really bothered Hangman Page, because he's like, really? You're interviewing us and you go and do that to me? Really, Schiavone? Of course, the Young Bucks come in. They want to celebrate with these guys. Page is like, well, you know what's funny? I'm surprised that we won the tag team titles before you guys did. Which, he walks away. It really looks like this bugged the hell out of the Young Bucks. And Kenny Omega's like, you know what? I find that to be shocking too, even though he said it in more of a joking manner. Hangman Page said it in a more serious manner. So, there's a little bit of tension there, and it looks like, to me, that Revolution is going to see the Young Bucks versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega for the IAEW Tag Team titles. Maybe the Young Bucks win in there, and that is where Hangman Page turns on Kenny Omega. But that is yet to hear. That's yet to be seen. It does look like we're heading towards Page and Omega versus the Young Bucks, which I know for a fact is going to like all the anti-AEW marks are going to go out there and see. They're like, see, the elite only working with each other. Look how pathetic this is. People are going to tear into this like no other. The fact that the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Hangman Page are going to have a tag team title match. Possibly. Just how it is. Now, before we get in the third part, I did want to also mention that Britt Baker going complete heel, doing the whole calling Tony Schiavone a shitty barista, saying he used to work at Starbucks. It's been gift where you can just see on TV where Tony Schiavone's like, what the fuck? Without the microphone. I thought that was hilarious. But hey, let's see what happens with Britt Baker being heel instead of a babyface, because she was not really a good babyface, and I still don't see anything special in her. But you never know. This heel turn might be it. The promo wasn't the best. Maybe it was designed like that. We'll have to wait and see. And of course, the main event of the show was Moxley versus Pac. They went to war to see who would face Chris Jericho at Revolution. And of course, Pac did not win. It was Jon Moxley, who apparently the next night, which of course was Wednesday because this shit was taped on Tuesday, came out with a pirate hat on and an eye patch. I mean, come on, man. Where was that for the show. That would have been fucking gold for the fucking TV show. But no, you went with this bandage around your head, which of course Pac took off. And it just like, but it was a hell of a match. They went out there, they beat the hell out of each other, beat the piss out of each other, and of course Moxley wins in the end. Death Rider after a double on DDT, and he goes on to face Jericho. Of course, the eye thing, I don't know how long they're going to run with it. Hopefully, it's not going to be. It might be for the entirety of the build to Revolution, but we do have a first match official. Even though yes, people can say, oh well, MJF versus Cody is official, which it's not, because if between now and Revolution there's somehow some way Cody touches MJF in the slightest, even if his pinky raises the chin or the nose of MJF, then the match doesn't happen. So the first official match for Revolution is Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho. And honestly, out of the two world title matches on pay-per-view we've had so far, three I should say, since they started TV, this one feels like it actually is earned. Cody Rhodes versus Chris Jericho never felt like it was earned, because Tony Khan just came out and was like, the first title, the title defense at the pay-per-view is going to be at Full Gear is going to be Cody Rhodes, without no reason whatsoever for them to do it. They had no TV yet. It was like named a week or two before TV started, and it just made no sense. This one actually feels like this is main event storytelling. This feels main event. This feels like it should be in the main event, and it's going to be, and I can't wait for this match. This is where Jericho's title reign will end. It will be just shy of 200 days, I believe, by about 10 days or 30 days or something. He's going to be shy of 200 days, but he's going to have a nice lengthy title reign. And it's time for somebody else to have the title. NXT. We had our final hype for Worlds Collide. Imperium, of course, went out a threat that they were embarrassed by the Undisputed Era at Takeover Blackpool 2. So they threatened that they were going on Wednesday. They have a receipt coming for the Undisputed Era, and they did pay that off. As we had the first match of the night was the Grizzled Young Veterans versus the Undisputed Era. The winner of that would go on to face the winner of the Bruiserweights versus Imperium. And of course, Imperium, towards the end of the match, they're up in the crow's nest. They distract the Undisputed Era. We get a ticket to Mayhem, and the Undisputed Era were gone for the match. Now you think, with the fact that Imperium was also in a tag team match later in the night, that Undisputed Era would have gotten involved in that match, and unfortunately that didn't happen. Sometimes it's like obvious is not a bad thing. Predictable is not bad if it leads to something good. This was predictable, but the predictable didn't happen, so I guess what can you say about that? And then of course, coming out of this week, Keith Lee ends the prophecy of the Undisputed Era. As everyone who's an NXT fan knows, at the tail end of 2018, Adam Cole made a prophecy that the Undisputed Era will be draping in gold coming out of 2019. And then on September 18th, was it, or the midnight, 2 weeks before the war started, that actually happened. And of course, Roderick Strong won the North American Championship to complete the prophecy. They held on to the titles up until this week, as Roderick Strong was the first victim of the end of the prophecy. Now, I think there's two reasons they did this. One, it was because I think it's time for the Undisputed Era to start losing their championships outside of the tag team titles, because they had nobody to have a takeover type match against the Undisputed Era. There is nobody. Street Profits going away, the Viking Raiders going away all of last year. The tag team division in NXT is as abysmal, as in shambles as it has ever been. So Adam Cole is probably going to lose the title at TakeOver Portland. Wouldn't surprise me. But also the fact that Worlds Collide is coming up. Was yesterday, was tonight. As I'm recording this the day before. I don't know the results before I do this unscripted. I feel Imperium is going to win that match and Roderick Strong's going to take the pinfall, and the infighting between the Undisputed Era is going to return from where it was before Roderick Strong won the North American Championship. NXT was a fun show. We'll talk about the ratings between both of these shows and how they're starting to get closer, but still have a long way to go. Then SmackDown. SmackDown. This opening match went 30 fucking minutes. I cannot tell you how bored I was. Now, they did the injury angle with Jimmy Uso, and I honestly, I'm sure I'm not the only one, thought, wow, he must really be injured. He was limping, and then it all turned out to be bullshit. He wasn't injured. He was the furthest thing from injured. And honestly, I was disappointed in the fact that this match took forever. This is how lacking WWE is. You have all this talent in the back. And a match that did not need to go 30 minutes went at least 30 minutes. This show went from this tag team match where you had a bogus injury and Roman Reigns and Jey Uso fighting against the odds, only for Jimmy to come back and the Usos to go out there and win the tag team match after Roman and Baron Corbin go and fight to the crowd. It was just 30 minutes of, God, this thing needs to end. It took way too long. And this was, I think, one of the worst SmackDowns in this year so far. The build to the Royal Rumble hasn't been any better on SmackDown. It's been absolutely disappointing. You had Carmella and Dana Brooke declare themselves for the Women's Royal Rumble, even though there is 23 spots open still. It's like the first year's Women's Royal Rumble, of course, which is 2 years ago. It was going to be a big deal to WWE. It main evented that show. It was just the first time ever, so it was a huge fucking deal. Last year felt important as well. This year feels like the biggest waste of fucking time. One, yes, like Ruby Riot's out. Nia Jax is supposed to be coming back, even though I didn't think she'd be cleared until around WrestleMania time with a double knee surgery. You have no Ronda Rousey right now. No, hype. This Women's Royal Rumble really, you've had since at least January 1st. Well, not January 1st. January 6th. January 6th. That was 3 weeks ago. Or 2 weeks ago. From this past Monday. 2 weeks ago. And you haven't named. You've had 3 episodes of Raw. And as of today, you've had 3 episodes of Raw, 3 episodes of The Bump, 3 episodes of Backstage to go out there and name names for the Women's Royal Rumble, and you haven't done that. Also, 3 episodes of SmackDown, nothing there. NXT, they haven't named anything, so I guess we're just going to have surprises from that. This build to the Royal Rumble, especially for the women, has absolutely been atrocious. The men, you have guys like Otis, Tucker, and... I'm sorry. I don't usually watch Wrestle Talk, but Adam Blampier, the great YouTuber, former YouTuber personnel, Adam Blampier was on Wrestle Talk today or yesterday, making predictions of what's going to happen in the Royal Rumble. And when he said, coming out next was Tucker, piss off, eliminated immediately. I had to laugh. I remembered that when I said Tucker's name. But Tucker, Otis, R-Truth, they have no business being in the Royal Rumble. They have 0 chance of winning. Ricochet, what has Ricochet done lately? Nothing. He needs to be out of the Rumble. Aleister Black, same thing. Buddy Murphy, don't give a shit. Piss them all off. You had it real simple. 10 from Raw, 10 from SmackDown, 10 from NXT, or 10 from Raw, 10 from SmackDown, 5 from NXT, 5 legends like Edge, Kane Velasquez, if you want to count him too, 2 others that we don't know. But you have 20. You have the entire Rumble has, if everything sounds as it should, there are no surprises in the Rumble this year. The Wikipedia page shows 27 slots of the Men's Royal Rumble taken. That doesn't include Kane Velasquez, Kane, and Edge. So that's 3 more. So that's 30. The entire Men's Royal Rumble is absolutely already already taken. All the slots are taken up, and that just makes the Royal Rumble less fun because I like surprises. You like surprises. Everybody, that's what the Royal Rumble's about. Is we like to be surprised. What's going to who we don't know who's going to be in there, but the fact that they put 27 men on, like, for sure, and then Cain Velasquez on multiple interviews during the UK thing that they did last week for BT Sports, came out there and was like, yeah, I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. Kane, more than likely, is going to be in the Royal Rumble, which would be Glenn Jacobs' 20th Royal Rumble overall, which, if you were to do, this would be funny to me, if you're going to do the Royal Rumble with Kane, don't do Guys Again, don't do Fake Diesel, don't do anything else. Mayor Glenn Jacobs in the Rumble, just for the hell of it. But yes, 30 slots. There's only 30 slots. If this was a 40-man Rumble, which we've only done once, there would be 13 slots open right now, and I'd be like, okay, that's where the NXT men come from. But no. And of course, Edge has been denying that he's going to be in the Rumble. This Rumble has been absolutely, like, the Rumble is the one time of the year a lot more people tune into the Rumble because it's exciting, because of the unpredictability, who's going to be in the Rumble. You should not be going into the Rumble match with more than 15 to maybe 20 slots taken. 27 have been confirmed. Edge is most likely going to be one, which is the worst kept secret in all of WWE. Cain Velasquez is going to be in there, which is 28 or 29. And then most likely Kane, which is going to be 30. So where's the fucking surprise? Where's the NXT? You said 3 brands, 2 matches. Apparently that's 3 brands and 1 match. WWE just, oh good grief, can't even get shit right. They need to look up and down this list of 27 that have been confirmed and the other 3 and be like, okay, Otis Tucker, you're out. R-Truth, you're out. Buddy Murphy, out. Ricochet, out. Sorry, love you, Ricochet, but you just haven't done anything to really need to be in the Royal Rumble. I don't know. I don't have the list in front of me, but those are the ones I remember off the top of my head. Anybody else who just looks anemic at best in the Rumble right now needs to be out. You have Brock Lesnar, who's supposed to be going through everybody to get to the Royal Rumble, to, like, build towards whoever's going to eliminate him. And half of this roster looks atrocious. No Matt Riddle, no Keith Lee, no Adam Cole, no Johnny Gargano, no nobody from NXT. How is this 3 brands, 2 matches even going to happen when 27 slots are already taken? Cain Velasquez is going to be 28. Kane's going to be probably 29. The Miz, oh yeah, Miz, get the fuck out of here. Morrison should have been surprised, but you didn't surprise, so get the fuck out of here. There's so much disappointment in this Royal Rumble build. Lacey Evans with her cringe-inducing promo for her women's title match this coming Sunday. The Fiend signing in his own blood was the creepiest thing of the week. Just taking that pen, stabbing his hand, and just, hopefully, what I think has happened is that, like, he had his glove on, there was a blood pack in there, he stabs his hand, the blood pack's there, and he just, like, pulls it down. I don't really think Bray Wyatt actually took a pen and stabbed into his actual hand. I think that'd be a little bit too much for WWE right now. But that is Ross, AEW, NXT, and SmackDown for the week. Let's get into some news here. Of course, we always want to talk about the ratings, see how they went for the week, and just gauge how WWE is going for this. WWE Raw's go-home edition for the Royal Rumble. Raw featuring the Final Red Brands hype for Sunday's pay-per-view, which was barely anemic at best. With Lana and Bobby Lashley defeating Liv Morgan and Rusev in the main event, drew an average of 2.380 million viewers with the USA Network, according to the Showbuzz Daily. This is numbers were delayed due to the MLK holiday, so we didn't get these numbers until Wednesday. This is up 17% from last week's 2.030 million views, which was the lowest viewership since December 23rd, tape Christmas week show, which drew a 1.835 million viewers and also a new non-holiday low for the year. Last week's show was up against the 2020 College Football Playoff National Championship. For this week, the show drew 2.548 million viewers. Last week's first hour drew 2.218. The second hour drew 2.492. And the third hour drew 2.101. Last week's hour drew 1.814. To anybody, including Lana CJ Perry herself, you still think that you are a ratings draw? Then explain to me how the drop from hour 1 to hour 3 was 4.447. That's a huge drop between hour 1 and hour 3. So and that's also, by the way, hour 1 to hour 2 was not even a 100,000 drop. But from hour 2 to hour 3 was over 400,000. 447,000 viewers. So don't tell me, oh, I'm the hardest thing out there. I'm the greatest superstar. I'm the ratings draw. Really? Because if you were such a ratings draw, it would have went from 2492 and would have, it still would have lost viewers because it's going to be losing viewers anyway. It wouldn't have dropped as low as it hit. So don't give me that, oh, well, I'm the biggest ratings draw in WWE. Give me a fucking break, Lana. You are nothing but a delusional, psycho bitch. Just saying. So, Monday Night Raw, of course, loses to The Bachelor, as it does every week. So did America's Got Talent, killed it as well. And that is Monday Night Raw. Again, people are saying, oh, well, look at... It's like people... Like, the first episode of Monday Night Raw this year, everyone made a big deal because, oh, it's the first Monday Night Raw to not have ratings, to not have... Like, it was the biggest ratings they had since September, and I'm like, well, football happens in September up until December. So anybody trying to say, oh, well, WWE's in a good spot right now, you're out of your fucking mind. If the NFL was to have the playoffs on Mondays up until the Super Bowl, Monday Night Raw would suffer so bad in ratings, it wouldn't even be funny. Monday Night Raw ratings do not increase as high as they used to. The last time they had a 4 was for Raw 25. The last time they had a 3 was for the Raw reunion this past year. Monday Night Raw ratings are going to continue to fall and fall and fall and fall. Next year, they're at 2.3 averaging in January right now. I believe they were up to 2.7 last year at this time. So for them to be down for about 300,000 viewers year on end. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure we're in that same ballpark. That's not good. And it's just going to continue to fall and fall. NXT and AEW week 16 of the Wednesday Night War. So AEW topped the NXT once again. The Wednesday special taped edition of TNT, filmed on the world champion Chris Jericho's cruise, drew 871,000 viewers, topping 769 viewers. NXT drew on USA Network by 13%. AEW is ranked 8th in the cable top 150, while NXT ranked 35. AEW ranked 40 in viewership, while NXT ranked 20 in viewership. Here's the thing, though. Last week's episode of AEW drew 940,000 viewers. That is a significant drop. That is a 69,000 viewer drop. And ranked 5th in cable and so on. NXT last week was up 10% as last week's episode drew 700,000 viewers and ranked 31st in cable. Top 150 in viewership. And AEW topped NXT by 46 in the 18 to 49 demographics as garnered a 30.35 rating. While NXT drew a .24 in the same demo this week. Last week's show drew a 0.38, while NXT drew a .21 in that demographic. The Pelicans and Spurs NBA game topped the night with a 14 and 18-49 demographic of 1.01, but they just drew 2.357 million viewers. Hannity topped the night, of course, in viewership with a 4.246 million viewers. Who the fuck is watching this Hannity shit? I don't know what the hell that is, but that, I don't even know. So NXT is still being topped by AEW, but not by much anymore. Again, it went from a 240,000 viewer difference to let me see here. Yeah, it was 240,000 viewers difference the week before to a little over 100,000 viewers. So next week's shows could probably be closer and closer, especially since that's going to be Worlds Collide and Royal Rumble Fallout shows. I honestly think that's going to be a closer race for AEW and NXT next week, even though AEW is building towards Revolution. I think that NXT is going to start creeping back up there. This is going to be one of those things where AEW is going to take a little bit of a fall, or NXT is going to take a little bit of a fall, and then they're going to come back up, and it's just going to be one of those things. AEW will go up, they'll go down, and it's just how it's going to be. This isn't 1996, where one big thing can happen on one show and people are going to flip over. One of the biggest things also is that there was no such thing as a DVR in 1996, 1997, 1998. DVR, I don't think, started till the mid-2000s, or towards the end of the 90s. So people had to watch either Raw or Nitro. And another thing, you don't have to watch NXT on a regular basis from the start of where it's at. You can watch it whenever the hell you feel like it. AEW, you can watch the next fucking day on TNT's app if you want to. If you have TNT on your cable provider and you put that information into the TNT app, you can watch AEW the next day if you want to. Honestly, I am absolutely surprised that these numbers are as high as they are. With the fact that you have streaming services out there, you can sit there and go to the USA Network app, I believe, and watch NXT the next day. I could be wrong, but that's also what the WWE Network is for. But it's like the 18 to 49 demographic, which of course is my demographic. That's where I'm at right now because I am 29 years old, going to be 30 here next month, just saying. But that demographic is going to be more into the streaming services. You know, I don't have to watch NXT right now. I can watch it on the network tomorrow. I don't have to watch AEW right now. I can watch it on the network. I can watch it on TNT's on demand later. Or if I have a cable box, I don't even have to watch either one of these things right now because they're going to be on demand later or the next day. So the ratings this high for these wrestling shows is surprising to me still. Let's go to SmackDown, which is always a preliminary number, as it's not as it is because it is a Friday night and the final number will not come in until on Monday. SmackDown drew an average of 2.47 million viewers in the overnight ratings, according to Showbuzz Daily. Hour 1 drew a 2.548 million viewers, and the Hour 2 dropped to 2.391 million viewers. SmackDown also drew an average of 0.7 ratings in 1849 demo, which was number 1 for the night. If the numbers hold up, which they never do, they always end up going down. The prelim numbers never stay up; they always drop. Like every time I come on here, the day after a SmackDown, and they have the prelim numbers, then we get to Monday, and those the final numbers are always down. If this one holds up, it will be down 3.6 from last Friday's edition, which drew a 2.562 million viewers with a 0.8 average rating in the 1849 demo. SmackDown was 6th for the night among the networks in viewership. It came behind America's Housewives, 2020, Hawaii Five-0, Magna P.I., and Believable as a Hawaii Five-0 rerun. Topped the night with 5.298 million viewers. If you can't beat a rerun of Hawaii Five-0, you are doing something wrong. Of course, the final rating will be out Monday. SmackDown is one of those things that is going to be interesting. I know Fox is probably not happy with the number. I know they're not happy with that 18 to 49 rating. They want to be averaging. Yes, it was number 1 for the night in the prelims. But SmackDown, SmackDown, they wanted SmackDown to be averaging a 1 or 1.1 or something like that. They're not even close to averaging a 1.1. They haven't averaged a 1.1 since week 1. SmackDown, let's see, from the overnight, they went from 2.548 to 2.391. Gee, I wonder why. Half of the first hour being Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns with the Usos and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode involved. I could see why people stopped watching. That match was absolutely atrocious. SmackDown didn't really offer any, the final thing that you saw was Bray Wyatt stabbing his hand and signing his name in blood. That show just didn't offer anything for people to stay. SmackDown, I think SmackDown is going to teeter in and out of 2.5 or lower for the foreseeable future because, quite honestly, it is on network television. It is on network television. It is on Fox, so they're going to have a better chance to get ratings over a Raw or SmackDown. Hell, Monday Night Raw was on Fox, well, of course, the only reason Fox didn't get Monday Night Raw is because Vince McMahon did not want to put Monday Night Raw back to 2 hours because he wants that third hour of revenue. But if they would have gotten Monday Night Raw on Fox, one, the show would have probably been a hell of a lot better because it'd only be 2 hours, and two, its ratings would be a lot higher as well because Mondays are a huge night for anything sports oriented, including a thing like Monday Night Raw. Let's get on to some actual news here when we talk about Lance Archer. New Japan Pro Wrestling star Lance Archer, aka Lance Hoyt, may be heading to All Elite Wrestling. The former WWE TNA star is said to be in high-level talks with AEW officials, according to Justin Barrasso, which of course would probably be the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody, Tony Khan, and so on and so forth. And of course, he's probably friends with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Cody, because of their time in New Japan. Archer, who turns 43 next year, 43 years old next month, is currently scheduled for a New Japan tour in the United States, which began Friday in Tampa and runs through February 1st in Atlanta. There's no word yet on when he might start with the AEW. Archer had the best year of his career in 2019 with a strong performance in the G1 Climax and a run with the IWGP United States title. Archer worked with TNA from 2004 to 2009 and then was with WWE from 2009 to 2010. Let's not talk about that year because he did nothing there. He didn't went to New Japan until 2015, leaving for a run with Pro Wrestling Noah. He has been with New Japan since 2017. He said, "This business is about adaptation. You either adapt or die," Archer told SI in December. "People don't know who I am. They don't understand what I'm capable of or I'm going to be. Keep doubting me and I'll keep surprising you." He is currently not under contract with New Japan and is able to negotiate with other promotions. I think that would be awesome for Lance Archer. The guy really didn't do much in WWE. He was on the ECW brand. That's where the Lance Archer name came from. He started using it there. He came out. I remember when he first made his debut. His hair was just spiked up, and he just had this intense look on his face. Didn't really do anything. Didn't do much there. Was gone within 6 months. It felt like. And he went to Japan. Came back, and I remember he wrestled Jon Moxley in a street fight or a Texas death match at Wrestle Kingdom Night 1, and that was one hell of a match. I don't know what's taking him so long, but AEW needs to add a secondary title, a mid-card title, whatever the fuck kind of title you want to call it, for guys like Lance Archer, who are probably not going to be anywhere near the top belt for a very long time. So him coming to AEW would be absolutely awesome. I think he would fit in with everybody there in AEW. Becky Lynch. Oh, Becky Lynch. How much of an idiot do you sound like after this past Tuesday? Becky Lynch refers to herself as the man because she doesn't believe it's gender specific, and she doesn't think WWE should believe in it either. The women in WWE continue to make history, but Lynch believes that time for making history is over and it's time for full equality in WWE. Speaking on Backstage, Becky reveals she believes it's next step for the women in WWE. She says, and I quote, "The best thing for the women's division right now is to eliminate the term women's." Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking stupid? It's now starting to hold us back. No, it's not. I'll tell you what's holding you guys back. We're now going to this in the women's segment, this in the women's thing. Why do we need that division? We need people, we need characters, we need people looking for the main event spot, not the top women's spot. The top spot. What are we doing this to be in this main event? To be on the covers of the video games, the cereal boxes, whatever it is. Gender shouldn't be an issue at this point. We're past making history. If we made all the history, sure, of course, there's always going to be more history to be made, but that's out of the equation now. Let's normalize it, she said. So, I'll get to everything here in a second. So, with this idiocy coming out of Becky's mouth, what did WWE do? WWE has taken the first step in dropping women's from its vocabulary by referring to the NXT Women's Championship as simply the NXT Championship. I'm sorry, what? That's stupid as fuck. So apparently, if Matt Riddle wants to take on Rhea Ripley for the NXT Championship, he can because it's not a women's-specific championship. Are you fucking kidding me? Mauro Ranallo never mentioned the women's part of the championship when Rhea Ripley was on Wednesday's NXT. It's unclear if the Raw and SmackDown will start using this designation moving forward. So, Becky decided that she needed to clarify how stupid she sounded coming out of this. Becky said in a statement on Twitter, "My comment about removing the word women from the conversation wasn't about renaming a division, it was about beginning to rethink it. It wasn't advocating for any changes in title names or anything else like I have the power to, but simply an equal volume of opportunities that are based on skills and not gender. The term women can limit openings because phrases like there's always a women's match on the show is still in wrestling's historical DNA. We're all just superstars who want our shot in places on the shows if we earn and deserve them. I'd simply love us to get a place where there's 3 women's matches on a pay-per-view, or 10, or none if it happens so we're not serving the audience." Becky. I tweeted this on Twitter. I tweeted this statement. Until Vince McMahon is gone, until the order of the guard is changed up top, this thinking is going to continue in WWE. For you to go out there and say, we need to remove women's from the vocabulary makes you sound like a fucking idiot. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's the NXT champion, Rhea Ripley. No, because that's Adam Cole's championship. She is the NXT women's champion. Not the NXT champion, the NXT women's champion. The title should be designated for who can defend, who can go after it. If you take Rhea Ripley's title and scrub women's away from it, then apparently Matt Riddle can challenge for it. Johnny Gargano can challenge for it. Sami Zayn can come back to NXT and challenge for it. Finn Balor can challenge for it. Give me a fucking break. This just made you sound so stupid. Yes, I know. We should be going from what happened on SmackDown. We should not be seeing that anymore. Having SmackDown have a women's tag team match that they ring the bell, then Lacey Evans, Bayley, Dana Brooke, and Carmella all come in and everyone starts brawling. The women got 5 seconds. They didn't get 5-10 minutes, they got 5 seconds. That's Diva-esque booking. Like, WWE, 5 years ago, took the Divas term and threw it away and gave us the women's division. Now, Becky Lynch wants them to stop calling it the women's division. So apparently, I guess she's cool with intergender matches. I guess she's cool with having Brock Lesnar versus Ronda Rousey, or Seth Rollins versus Becky Lynch, or Liv Morgan versus Bobby Lashley. I guess she's okay with that. Are you fucking stupid? You coming out there to clarify, I didn't mean take the women's off the title. Well, apparently you should have clarified that with the company before you went out there and made a fool of yourself. You went out there on TV and said something you probably shouldn't have said, should back up and be like, listen, I shouldn't have said that. Let's just act like this was never said. It's on tape now. People can sit there and be like, oh, Becky, you sound like a fucking idiot. Because quite honestly, Becky, you sounded like a fucking idiot. Think before you say something on TV. Think before you say something. You are a nationally recognized figure. What you say carries a lot more weight than what I'm saying right now. So you to go out there and be like, hey, we should take women out. We should say the women's vocabulary should be taken out of WWE's vocabulary. Okay, let's have the women's championship of NXT just be called the NXT championship. The WWE Raw championship. The WWE SmackDown championship. You know how stupid that sounds? We have the women's tag team titles. Oh, no, we don't. It's Asuka and Kairi Sane, the tag team champions. Of what? What would be Asuka and Kairi Sane? What would they be tag team champions of? The women. You sound like a fucking idiot. How about you guys go back there and be like, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Just think, Becky. Give me a fucking break. Just fucking think next time. Oh boy. Monday Night Raw. This coming Monday. Yes. This coming Monday. We have Liv Morgan versus Lana with Rusev and Bobby Lashley banned from ringside. You want to know what the main event's most likely going to be for Monday Night Raw? There it is. If these two women main event this show, There is no hope for this company. You gave us an abysmal tag team match with 3 wrestlers and a non-wrestler. Now we have to see Liv Morgan carry Lana to a semi-terrible match. On top of that, 8-man tag team action is the Viking Raiders, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe will take on Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and the Authors of Pain. This match should have happened last week. We didn't need a tag team title match with the Viking Raiders losing the tag team titles to Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. That should have been the match we got last week. Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, and the Authors of Pain versus Joe Owens and the Viking Raiders. So why are we just now getting that match? Why didn't you have the Viking Raiders lose the tag team titles? For months until what was it? Crown Jewel? Yeah, until Crown Jewel, the Viking Raiders were booked as best as they could. Then they lose that match in that gauntlet match, which they called it something else, but it was a gauntlet match. They lose that match, then they lose again to the OC, and now they're just becoming just another group of guys in the company. And apparently, Brock Lesnar and the Raw Women's Champion, or Becky Lynch, is going to be on Raw. This episode of Monday Night Raw is going to be absolutely atrocious. They just told you, hey, don't tune in to Monday Night Raw because you're going to get Liv Morgan versus Lana. Woo! I know I don't want to see that, and I know you don't want to either. Rey Mysterio. Latest edition of Raw saw the Andrade and Rey Mysterio rivalry continue on in the ladder match with El Idolo's United States Championship on the line. It was Andrade who managed to come out on top after some shenanigans for Zelina Vega. Ray recently spoke with TV Insider and revealed that he would be open to a hair versus mask stipulation at WrestleMania against Andrade. I think the goal right now after Monday outcome is an Andrade-Lana match. I think something along the way is that if he wants to keep feuding and keep going a step further, I'm willing to put my mask on the line versus his hair for a WrestleMania moment. Or Rey Mysterio's mask, if Andrade's still champion, for the title. How hard is that? Upon reading that revelation, you could be forgiven for thinking that the stipulation would be perfect WWE retirement match for Rey Mysterio. However, the match of the 6-on-9 has claimed a win for either WWE superstar would be beneficial for the future in mind. Whatever the case might be, whoever ends up winning, I think it would be a huge stepping stone for either of us. First and foremost, what does Rey Mysterio have left to prove? What does Rey Mysterio have left for a stepping stone? The dude's been in wrestling for almost 30 years. There's nothing else really this guy needs to have a stepping stone for. Honestly, because I don't think WWE wants to lose Rey Mysterio's mask. Are you kidding me? Because the only reason WWE does not want to do this match, the absolutely 100% only reason they're not doing this match is because they don't want to book Rey Mysterio to lose his mask. You know how many Rey Mysterio masks they sell on a weekly basis? Probably a ton. You know how many masks are probably sold? I don't know the statistics, but I'm pretty sure when you go to a Raw episode of Raw, with your little 5-year-old Timmy over here and he wants a Rey Mysterio mask, you're going to go to the concession stand and buy a Rey Mysterio mask. If Rey Mysterio was to lose his mask, there goes all that revenue. There goes all that. And they don't want to beat Andrade to where he has to lose his hair. So it's real simple. Rey Mysterio, Andrade, United States Championship on the line versus Rey Mysterio's mask. Rey Mysterio wins. There you go. New U.S. Champion. How hard is that, Vince? You could do that at WrestleMania. Instead of it mask versus hair, it's mask versus title. It's happened before. Rey Mysterio has put his mask on the line against Chris Jericho, I believe, for the Intercontinental title. That's what you do. It's mask versus title. Right? Andrade doesn't have to lose his hair. Rey Mysterio doesn't have to lose his mask. Boom, Andrade loses the title. How about that? How hard is that? And finally, guys, we have one more thing here. The UK provider for AEW's pay-per-views has shut down. ITV Box officially has shut down its service effective immediately. ITV Box offices was the UK home of AEW pay-per-views. Fans in the UK will still be able to watch pay-per-views on Fight TV. There's also been some issues with AEW fans in the UK with the TNT airing on ITV4. Fans were told that the show would be available to view on their on-demand service at 7 p.m. on Thursdays. That has not been the case so far this year, with the show airing on ITV4 at varying times on Friday nights. The show is still scheduled to continue to air on ITV4. ITV Box Services update. The ITV Box service has ceased as of January 24th, 2020. There are no further plans to show any future events on this channel. Questions were what will happen to the ITV Box account. The 24th January episode, your account has been automatically closed. You will no longer be able to access your account. What will happen to my data? Your data is processed in accordance with our privacy policy, which can be found at itv.com/privacy. Will the closure of my ITV Box account affect any other ITV accounts? No, only for your ITV Box Office account will be closed. Any other ITV-related accounts you may hold continue as normal. I don't know the reason behind this. It sucks for AEW, for the simple fact is that is one of the pay-per-view providers. It's probably not it's never a good thing when you have a pay-per-view provider be shut down like that. So Fight TV and here in the US, which of course is BR Live, and I think traditional pay-per-view as well, are the only ways to get it. But AEW, one less pay-per-view provider for them. Now, that is all my news for the day. Not much really going on that was really worth talking about. I still think Becky Lynch sounds like a fucking idiot for going out there and was like, I think it's time to remove the word women's from the vocabulary. No, that is stupid. Again, when it comes to the women's division, when it comes to women in WWE, until Vince McMahon is gone, until they get somebody who's more pro-women and sees money in the women's division, which Vince McMahon does not, Vince McMahon treats the tag team division like the women's division. They don't see money. He doesn't see money in these divisions, so he's not going to invest in them. Vince McMahon sees money in the singles division. He sees money in the big guys, the guys who the big characters, the big money off, like the big box office money, and a guy like Brock Lesnar, a guy like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, I guess, the AOP maybe. He doesn't see box office in Becky Lynch. He doesn't see box office in Charlotte, even though they're giving Charlotte all these accolades. In the end, it doesn't matter as much as like a Roman Reigns. Until you get somebody who's in charge, who has the authority over the women's division is always going to be treated the way it is. If Becky doesn't like it, she needs to go to the head. She doesn't need to come on TV and be like, the women's, like the term women's is holding us back, because it's not the term women's that is holding you back. It's Vince McMahon and his way of thinking. Vince McMahon has been doing this since the 60s. He has this thinking of women where they're just a novelty act. They're not the real deal. They're not something big. You might have Stephanie go on TV and be like, oh, pro women, pro this, pro that, and it's not gonna matter until the higher ups are ousted and more pro women are in, and people who are more pro women, whether it's Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, or whoever is calling the shots. The women's division is always going to be where it's at. The men might be on the top of the mountain. The women are always going to be right below them. They're never going to be on equal footing so long as a guy like Vince McMahon is in charge. That is your episode of UnScripted for Sunday, January 26, 2020. We are on our way. The Royal Rumble, of course, is tonight. I will be here tomorrow for the review of the Royal Rumble. We have, unless something changes, we have 0 surprises coming out of the men's Rumble. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there. The women's Rumble just, again, feels like an absolute afterthought. The strap match should be interesting. Those welts on Daniel Bryan's back did not look pretty. And I got nothing else. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, and then Tuesday for Monday Night Raw, which, again, I'm not looking forward to, with Lana and Liv Morgan most likely main eventing, even though they don't deserve it. That should be the very first match of the night. Should be Lana versus Liv Morgan to get that trash out of the way. But hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter, The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And I will see you guys again for the Royal Rumble. Thank you again all who subbed and who checked out Bash at the Beach Part 1 and 2. And I'll see you guys later.